Well, the state's third witness is set to take the stand today in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. The identity of the witness has not yet been disclosed, though, but it's been established that the witness was in the house on the night of the murder. Just last week, we saw startling contradictions in the testimony of the first and second witnesses. eNCA's Slindelo Masikane is watching the case and joins us now to give us an update of what to expect. Slee, good morning to you. And before we get that update, I mean, proceedings, of course, resumed this week, but what were some of the big takeouts from the week before?
So I think we finally saw the state's first witness wrapping up his testimony. That was Sergeant Thabo Mosia, the forensic officer, and we know that his evidence was scrutinized by the defense, where we know that there are allegations of contamination, and in fact we know now that the crime scene was actually cleaned at some point. But what we also saw, of course, was the state's second witness testifying, that is Sergeant Patrick Mthethwa. We know that he is one of 3 police officers who was first on the scene, the first responders. They're the ones who were on duty at the Forceless police station and received the call just before 9 p.m. on the 26th of October saying that there was a shooting in progress in Nomzamo Street. We know that from his testimony, it does seem as though that the crime scene was not cordoned off immediately on their arrival, and in fact they proceeded and left the crime scene without anybody really to protect it, and they proceeded to the hospital to then get more information about what happened, because according to Mthethwa Dumelo, it didn't look as if anything had happened in that house when they first arrived. They had walked through it briefly, only noticed some blood splatters in between the lounge and the kitchen, but did not see the bullet which was behind the glass jars, only the bullet projectile which was found on the floor. He also mentioned that it was actually Kelly Khumalo's mother who told them what happened, and we know that, of course, Kelly Khumalo has the services of Magdalene Munsami on a watch brief, and we spoke to her with regards to the fact that we are starting to hear a lot more about what happened in the house prior to police arriving, but also that her mother's name, Gladness, has been mentioned in court quite a few times last week. Let's take a listen.
I haven't spoken to her. I'm not representing Mama. I don't know. I can't, question in terms of, or I can't respond to their emotions. But the thing that I do know is that, the family has been through a lot, and they have remained very confident. So I don't believe if there was anything, I would have been contacted to say something, but I haven't received any communication regarding that aspect.
So, Slee, with that being said, we start the week with a new witness.
We start the week with a new witness. We know that we'll be sitting for the next 5 days, Dumelo, and of course speculation around who is it going to be. We had it on good authority last week that in fact it was going to be possibly someone in the house who was going to be coming up next to testify, but we understand that there's a possibility or a likelihood that that has changed, and we might be seeing a neighbor, one of the witnesses who saw what happened or is going to recount what they saw on that night, possibly taking the stand. And of course, one of the big questions was whether Kelly herself would be taking the stand. I had posed this question to Magdalene in terms of whether the state has confirmed whether Kelly Khumalo at any point will be taking to the witness box. This is what she had to say.
Not to my knowledge. I would have been informed appropriately by the court and the senior public prosecutor, but to my knowledge, no, I do not have any knowledge to that effect. We have been told that our client may not be called as a witness, and I've said this to you before, and that my client is not a suspect, and that we will be informed duly, and there has been no such information, or my client would have informed me of such, or I would have been called by Advocate Beloy with immediate effect if it's with regard to my clients.
And what time do we get underway today, Slee?
Well, court proceedings will start at 10 a.m. this morning, and of course we will be bringing those visuals live as soon as we begin here on DSTV 403.